All right, everyone. The other day, Donald Trump called Adam Schiff, in the U.S. House. He'll have subpoena powers soon, says every, left-winger, as though they're actually going to gun after Trump, and if they do, they will actually win in a political sense. Very funny. He called him Adam Schitt. It was totally an accident. He mistook F for T. They kind of look similar. They're right next to each other on the keyboard. It is plausible deniability mode. It was definitely on purpose. No, his fingers didn't slip. When Trump spells something improperly, he's doing it usually to draw more attention to something. Because he knows, and in this sense, the misspelling is the joke itself, so he can't really help that anyway. He's done this before. There's definitely a correlation between Trump making a grammatical error in something he's saying, or using the wrong word or misspelling a word. There's definitely a correlation between that and the importance of the tweet. There's a higher likelihood of that happening if he wants more people to see it. It's not coincidental. He's got a high verbal command. When people say, well, he probably can barely read, he's got terrible grammar skills. No, he's very bright in a literary sense. He also happens to know that if he just goes off the rail and rants, people are more responsive to that if they're their core fans. Because that's how it works. Presidents typically give their speeches, for example, at about a 5th grade level. There's a reason for that. It's not because the audience is dumb, it's because the audience has a low attention span. Keep it simple. You can't be too flowery and theatrical. You can't sound, hey, I'm going to give a speech like I'm Teddy Roosevelt. Okay, that's one for the ages, but the people that are actually there are going to get bored and start. I wonder if at the Gettysburg Address people were bored even though it was really short. Unexpectedly so. Bet anything they were. 1,000 points of light. Yeah, you have these political speeches, and they can be very highbrow and very theatrical, and thus they're remembered very fondly, but at the time they can actually fall flat if you're talking to a live audience. It's just the way things work. This was not accidental. It's definitely an insult of Adam Schiff, and it's not an undeserved one. He's basically signaling, hey, I don't give a fuck if you have subpoena powers. Go ahead and subpoena anything you want. I think he's trying to antagonize. Listen to this theory. Trump is setting the stage to antagonize the Democrats and make them do one of two things. Either he's going to be consistently mean to them, which will piss off the far left, and the far left will be like, hey, subpoena the dude already. Do something. Fucking defend yourselves. And the corporate Dems will be like, we can't do that. We'll overstretch. we know, based on our inside knowledge, obviously, of what Mueller's seen, he's cleaner than a whistle. We know we're not. If we subpoena his tax returns, we're not going to find anything we can prosecute. And then they know that if they open that can of worms, the next step is that the insatiable far left will ask for impeachment, even if nothing is found. Oh, it'll enrage him. It'll collapse the Democratic coalition. Trump knows this. Or they take the bait and they say, okay, we'll give you your impeachment proceedings. And then they look like a bunch of crybullies. And the average centrist American will not vote for them if they look like a bunch of crybullies. He's trying to back them into a corner on wall funding, too. He's threatening a shutdown. What has happened in every shutdown so far? The House gets blamed. The House controls the purse strings. The Democrats, the majority in the House now, will get blamed if there's a shutdown. If they start impeachment proceedings, they will overstretch, they will look crazy to the centrist Americans, they'll Benghazi Trump, they'll obstruct government, and they'll end up losing in 2020. And if they don't, they probably lose anyway, because the far left within their coalition does want to subpoena him. The fact that they're going to have subpoena powers is not a good thing for the Democrats unless you assume that there's something to legitimately subpoena. Unless you think Trump actually cheated on his taxes or colluded with a foreign state to rig the election. He didn't. I don't believe that he did. I think if they investigate, it'll be 2 years of nothing. And he'll go into 2020, he'll say, well, the Democrats have a platform. It's, hey, continue to file pieces of paper and ask stupid questions and do what Mueller was already doing for 2 years and found butt-fuck nothing. By the way, when the Mueller probe inevitably ends, hopefully sometime very soon, what do you expect him to say, dude? Oh yeah, Trump colluded with a foreign state. Yes, it has something to... No, he didn't. It's not going to come out and say that either. He's probably already holding court with high-ranking Democrats telling him, hey, you might want to prepare your public statements and for the inevitable fallout among the far left, which will probably riot in some places like Portland and places like that. They will probably take to the streets because I'm going to have to come out and tell them, hey, there's no evidence that Trump was involved with the Russians. I don't have evidence that his immediate family or any of his staff were involved with the Russians. It's not illegal for Roger Stone as a private civilian to talk to WikiLeaks, even if he is passing info that's already publicly available to the Trump administration. Doesn't matter. That's fucking not illegal in any meaningful manner. That's like saying if I read the WikiLeaks releases And then I talk to VA Shiva and I say, hey, did you see this on WikiLeaks? Like, I can be prosecuted for that. I'm a civilian. I'm free to read that. I'm free to spread it around. It's already on the internet. What do you expect people to do? Avoid talking about things like we're the fucking UK without press rights? Not going to happen. So yeah, I think that the Democrats have a problem. And the biggest problem is that Trump knows just how to get under their skin. He's doing this at this point partially, I think, for his own amusement. He knows he can come out and do this. His core fans, 40% of the population obviously doesn't care whether he does stuff like this. They don't care if he acts unpresidential or unbecoming the office. About 40%. They're looking at the tax rates. They're looking at the job market. They're looking at maybe progress in Korea. We hope it continues. I'd be disappointed if it doesn't. Things like that. And they're saying we generally support Trump. It's forgivable if he insults somebody on Twitter. We don't really care. Because if they had a problem with it, they wouldn't be part of that group of people that supports him. You look at the polling, his approval's still around the same. I haven't bothered to check in the last couple of weeks. I can't imagine it's moved very much. It's probably a little bit downward because the Republicans didn't hold the House, but that's organically going to climb back up. It's not a problem. Typically happens. It would have been abnormal if they had retained the House. The fact that they only lost it in a fairly narrow fashion should give them some hope, and they just got the Florida Senate race. Gives them 52. They pick up 53rd with the special election. They're at 53, which is within the threshold I expected. Funny times within politics. Adam Schitt. Little Adam Schitt, too. It's not just Adam Schitt. It's little Adam Schitt. It was a total accident. My finger slipped. No, your finger didn't slip. You're trying to get at attention. You're trying to antagonize the far left. They continuously, if you look at the memes, like you look at any Trump tweet, there are a bunch of people that do a lot of botting and scripting so that whenever Trump tweets something, it'll automatically post a picture. I have no doubt that they've botted Twitter to do this. These people have. You look at it and the top comments are all, well, Trump is going to jail, haha, subpoena powers, and all this stupid shit. Yeah, because the far left is really, really self-righteous and thinks there's something to impeach him on. I think Trump would invite impeachment proceedings. His popularity would rise. He won't be removed from office because you won't find anything impeachable. And you will look like a bunch of bullying morons like the Republicans did when they impeached Bill Clinton. And they didn't impeach him on any solid grounds. They could have gone after him for lying to Congress. Instead, they're like, oh, well, he had an affair. We're going to impeach him. Remove him from office. What do you expect the fucking Senate to do, dude? You're not going to be able to remove him. The economy was going along well. We weren't in any major wars. His approval was middling at the time, mid-upper 40s. But, I mean, that's totally survival. It's got above, I think, 50% in some of the polling right after they impeached him. He gained like 5 points of support. If Trump has that happen, he gains a mandate that he doesn't currently have. The Democrats would be suicidal to impeach him. They'll probably try it. Because the far left is going to get antagonized by Trump and continuously harangue and goad and schism and attack him, the Democratic Party itself from within. The Alexandria Ocasio-Cortezes of the party will harangue and bitch to no end in the Maxine Waters. Oh, confront him at the gas station, confront him in the restaurant, don't let him sleep a wink, harass their children, like that one dude there. Who was it? One of those vapid celebrities rambling about how Barron Trump should be locked in a cage and crazy shit like that. Or it's like, was it Rosie O'Donnell who said that he was autistic or something? It's like you don't know anything about these people. You don't know anything about the Trumps other than you had a public feud like a decade and a half ago with Donald Trump, and you have a stick up your ass about the fact that he can buy and sell you even though you yourself are a rich celebrity. And nobody gives a fuck about who you are anymore because you're not on TV anymore, I don't think. Like the Rosie O'Donnell show stuff, that's like stopped 10 years ago. It's totally worthless. That's about all. Peace out.